If your soil feels hard, pale, or stubborn no matter how much you water or fertilize, the problem usually isn't what you're adding on top, it's what's missing underneath. Earthworms are not a bonus feature of good soil, they are a requirement. Wherever soil stayed productive for centuries, worms were there first, quietly processing organic matter, building structure, and feeding crops long before bottled fertilizers existed. The mistake many modern gardeners make is waiting for worms to show up on their own. Worms go where food, moisture, and safety already exist. If you want them, you have to build that environment deliberately. The fastest and most reliable way to do that is by burying the right materials, in the right way, in the soil you already have. This isn't theory, it's how fertile gardens were built before compost piles became fashionable. Let's get straight into what actually works. Why buried food matters more than surface compost. Earthworms live and feed below the surface. When organic matter stays on top, much of its value is lost to drying, oxidation, and surface microbes that never connect with root zones. When food is buried, decomposition happens in darkness and moisture, exactly where worms feel safe. Bacteria and fungi move in first, softening the material. Worms follow the scent, pulling fragments deeper, digesting both organic matter and soil itself. The result is castings, placed precisely where plants can access them. This is why buried inputs almost always outperform surface compost when the goal is worm activity, not just mulch. Soft green kitchen scraps are the fastest worm attractor. Worms prefer material that breaks down quickly. Vegetable trimmings, leafy greens, lettuce cores, spinach, cabbage leaves, and fruit peels are ideal. Coffee grounds and used tea leaves work especially well because they arrive already partially decomposed and microbially active. When buried shallowly, these materials can draw worms within days. The key is moderation and coverage. Chop scraps if possible, bury them at least 20 centimeters deep, and always cover them fully with soil. This prevents smells, pests, and surface flies while creating the moist pocket worms are searching for. Carbon-rich bedding keeps worms working longer. While worms are drawn in by nitrogen-rich food, they stay for carbon. Shredded cardboard, torn newspaper, egg cartons, and uncoated paper serve as bedding and long-term fuel. Buried with kitchen scraps, these materials balance decomposition and prevent slimy, anaerobic conditions. They also hold moisture like a sponge, which is critical for worm survival. A practical approach is to line the bottom of a small pit with damp cardboard, add kitchen scraps, then cap it with more paper before covering with soil. This layered approach feeds worms steadily, instead of all at once. Crushed eggshells improve worm health and soil structure. Eggshells do not attract worms by smell, but they support them once they arrive. Worms use grit to digest food, and calcium helps stabilize soil pH. Crushed shells mixed into buried organic matter provide both. Over time, they improve crumb structure and reduce compaction, making it easier for worms to move and reproduce. Shells must be crushed finely and mixed with softer materials, not buried alone. Aged manure and partially rotted plant matter build populations fast. Fresh manure is too hot, but aged manure or partially decomposed leaves are worm magnets. When buried in trenches between beds or under fall plantings, they create long-term feeding zones that support entire worm colonies. This is how many traditional gardens maintained fertility year after year without ever hauling compost. The material was fed to the soil where crops would grow next season, not processed elsewhere. How to create simple worm pits that spread fertility. Dig a hole roughly 20 to 30 centimeters deep between plants or an empty bed space. Add a mix of kitchen scraps and shredded paper, keeping the pile loose, not compacted. Cover fully with soil and water lightly. Each week, move the pit to a new location. Worms will travel between pits, spreading castings and tunnels throughout the bed. Over time, soil texture improves evenly, instead of in isolated patches. Within days, bacteria and fungi colonize the buried material. Worms detect this activity and move toward it. As they feed, they ingest soil particles, grinding organic matter into castings that contain plant-available nutrients, enzymes, and beneficial microbes. Their tunnels improve drainage and aeration while allowing roots to follow the same pathways. Weeks later, the original scraps disappear, replaced by dark, crumbly soil with visible worm life. This process builds fertility that doesn't wash away and doesn't burn plants. Healthy worm-fed soil becomes darker, lighter, and easier to work. Water soaks in instead of pooling. You'll notice fewer dry cracks and better moisture retention during heat. Plants respond with stronger stems, deeper leaf color, and steadier growth rather than quick flushes followed by stress. When you dig, worms are present at multiple depths, not just on the surface after rain. Consistency matters more than quantity. Feed small amounts regularly. Keep soil covered with mulch to prevent drying and temperature swings. Avoid synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, which disrupt worm digestion and microbial partners. Once established, worms maintain soil fertility on their own, reducing the need for constant inputs. Earthworms are not something you buy. They are something you invite and support. By burying the right materials in the right way, you turn your garden into a self-feeding system that improves every season. If this kind of practical biology-first gardening speaks to you, subscribe to Nature's Fix, share this with another serious gardener, and keep building soil that works for you, not against you.